Hello there. We have another tutorial on the Sirius Astrology software. This is Sirius version 1.3. What I'm going to show you today is the AstroSignature forecast. I love this feature. We have a lot of customers who use this. We also have customers who don't use it, don't even know about it, haven't really noticed it. But it's really cool. Of course, every astrologer uses different things, and it may or may not be your cup of tea, so to speak. But let me show you this. It's very, very nice for different purposes, and I'll show you just some of the ways you can use it today. Okay, so I've got here, I'm in the main screen of Sirius, and I'm looking at, I've got two charts here. This is Mitt Romney, who ran against Barack Obama for the United States presidential election in 2012, and I've got another chart here which is Barack Obama, and that's his chart. And Barack Obama's chart is from a birth certificate. Some people doubt the validity of the birth certificate, but if you assume it's correct, then we have an recorded time. And Mitt Romney, this time was given by him from memory. I don't know, most people don't know the exact time they're born, but somebody asked him what time he was born, and he gave 9:51 a.m. And his father, in an interview, said that Mitt was born at 10 a.m., which is only 9 minutes different, so this is probably a fairly good time, but at least as far as I know, his birth certificate or a good birth record has not been obtained. So anyway, so fairly good time for Mitt, and a birth certificate, if we assume it's a valid birth certificate, which most people assume it is, but not everyone, for President Obama. Now, let's see what this AstroSignature forecast is. Well, it's a kind of forecast. So you may remember that in Sirius these green icons are for getting reports, and this is for forecast. Forecast. And there's all these forecasts. And in a previous tutorial that I made, I talked a little bit about the timeline. And here's this AstroSignature forecast graph. So you go to here, and there are a lot of menu items here to select from. A lot of them just say user 1, user 2. This is largely because we plan to expand this in the future with more and more choices. So we're getting ready for the future. But here's our main forecast AstroSignatures. There's also a group for classical. Classical means medieval or Renaissance period, usually. Some people call it traditional astrology, but classical seems to be a less ambiguous term. So anyway, classical, electional, based on planets, houses, financial forecasts, and so on. So I'll select main signatures, the top one. This window keeps jumping outside this little part of my screen that I'm capturing for the purpose of these videos. Drag it in there. And I see, what do I have here? Forecast methods. So I can select all these basic methods. It's defaulted to just transit to natal. Well, let's see, I could check there. Means I would get both of these, progress to natal. I could get progress to progressed. I'll uncheck these guys and leave it to the default of transit. Just do transit to natal. Keep it simple. Okay, and then I've got things I can do, and I can select business success, athletic performance, drive, ambition, work, good luck, optimism, mental acuity. That's good if you're taking a test or an examination. Imagination, confusion is one. Visionary, inspired, emotional sensitivity, romance and sexuality, and so on. So we have these different things. Relax, party, vacation. It's not good to go on a vacation when you're in a workaholic mode and all you can do is think about working. And so on. Some of these down here are things that I had added. This is my own computer here. And of course I work with the program, so I've added some things down there. But all these up to accident proneness, at least that many come with the program. So, what I'm going to do here for Mitt Romney is I'm going to select business success, which happens to be the default. selection. There's one selected just to get you in the flow of what's going on, that you check these things. If I didn't want business success, I could uncheck it, and you can do more than one of these. If I want good luck and optimism, and I want romance and sexuality, I can check both of those. So you can check up to 10 of them. By the time you get to 10, it gets, as you'll see, the graph gets a little bit noisy. Anyway, I'm going to check just business success. Now, business success, I have found, basically just shows you when you are on, when you are strong, going good, you're able to achieve things, you're able to communicate well, you're able to impress people if you're giving a marketing thing or whatever it is. You're just on. And it's similar to athletic performance, and it's similar to good luck optimism. Good luck optimism puts more emphasis on Jupiter-Uranus combinations. Athletic performance puts a little more strictly on Mars types things. But they're similar, and if you select those three, you'll see that they're similar, which can also be helpful because it shows you the slight variations. But business success is a good one. Now, the time period. It defaults to run for a month, starting, I happen to be doing this on January 21st, 2013, so it picks today's date. And this is the day it calculates it each day. Defaults to 12 hours GMT. Now, I have a little text file here. We slide this guy up into my visible area. In October of 2012, there were 3 presidential debates, of United States presidential debates. They were all held in October, and they were all from 9 to 10:30 Eastern Time. And one was October 3rd, so it was 9 p.m., started at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It was held in Denver, Colorado, which I guess is 2 hours later, so it would be, I guess, 7 p.m. or whatever it was there. So anyway, October 3rd, October 16th, October 22nd. The last 2 were on the East Coast. Okay, one was in New York, one was in Florida. So they had these 3 debates. And then right after the debate, different groups do polls and see what the results were in terms of who did better. So let's see if this business success forecast, I'll click on this to bring our program back to the foreground here. Let's see what it predicts in terms of strength for Mitt Romney. So I need to set it to October 2012. I'll just do it for the month October 1st to November 1st, 2012. And, as you type it, types out here confirming what you typed in. For example, if I typed, 11/1, it interprets this as November 11. I have it in American style. If I put it in European style, you would think I typed January 11, and it would say January 11 there. So anyway, I've got October 1st to November 1st, just run that month, business success. I'll leave this 12 hours. I can play with that later. Let me just see what we get here. So I click on Begin Analysis. And it runs through telling me it's calculating each one of these days. And it produces a graph, which went right off my screen here. Let me drag these things. It actually opens up several windows that are all available simultaneously, some with the details. And here's the graph. On a normal size screen, it's wonderful because these things are spread out across your screen display, and you can they don't overlap each other that much. But I'm in a small area, so there's a lot of overlap. Okay, well, here's my graph. This is the first thing that we'll tend to look at. And it tells us, when will he be successful? When is he going to achieve a lot and be good? So if I go back to my little notes here, I'm on October 3rd, 16th, 22nd. Now, this is what I want. Let me minimize that. It's calculating, it's basing these calculations for a certain time of day. You can't, in astrology, you can't say how good you are for the whole day, because 3 in the morning is different than 3 in the afternoon, is different than 8 p.m. in the evening because everything's moving all the time. So we have a time here of 12 noon. So this is based on 12 noon on October 1, 2, 3. So on October 3rd at 12 noon, Mitt Romney's business success is very high, and that's right when the debate is. But the debate was actually 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If I pick 10 p.m. as, roughly in the middle of that, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, if you're familiar with time zones, that's going to be Greenwich time, the time in England, is about 5 hours later. If I want to be more precise, and you'll see it won't make a huge difference, I could set this to 3 hours GMT, because when the debate is October, what was that date? October 3rd, Eastern Time, that's actually in England, October 4th in the morning. If you want to get technically, very detailed about it, we could change, and you'll see it won't make much difference. And I'll click on here, apply and recalculate. So you see this graph going up on the 3rd, down on the 4th, but to be a little more precise about it, I can just recalculate right here without leaving my graph. And a little thing up here tells me it's calculating, and now with slightly more precision, it's actually very high at the time of the debate, which is October 4th, Greenwich Mean Time, right there. So, a little, made it slightly more precise because we have a particular time of day we're interested in. Usually you're running this to just get the overall effect across the time period. So he's got very high business success on the 4th. We expect him to do very well in the debate. The other debate was October 16th, not bad. It's actually the 17th using GMT. And then the last one, what are these dates again? 3rd, 16th, 22nd. And we're looking at Greenwich Mean Time, which is actually the next day, so 23rd. And October 23rd, nothing. So he doesn't have any particular help there. He's got a lot of help, so to speak, things promoting business success on these 2 days, especially the first one. Now, if you're an astrologer, you want to know what that is. You're not going to trust this graph, probably. So over here in this other window, they're both available simultaneously. I can click on this window, which is the graph, and I can click on this window, which shows me the details. And it tells me October 1st, 2nd, 3rd, what was happening. So there's a little checkbox here. Exclude charts with scores of 0 or less. And now I just see the dates when there was something going on. And the reason why that graph went up is because transiting Mars is conjunct natal Jupiter with about a 19-minute orb. So it was getting very exact. So transiting Mars is on as Jupiter. It's great for business success. The graph goes high. Now on the 17th, transiting Mars-Uranus midpoint is conjunct the natal midheaven. Very exact, even more exact the next day. But if you're an astrologer, you know there's a potential problem here, which is the natal midheaven is a house cusp, moves 1 degree every 4 minutes. It may not actually be where we think it is. So we're not entirely sure whether it peaks on that date or not. So we can see exactly what this is based on. And of course on the 23rd there was nothing. It doesn't even show up between the 20th and 26th. So going back to the graph here, we see that this is transiting Mars, conjunct natal Jupiter. Excellent. Next debate, Mars-Uranus midpoint, conjunct midheaven, which would give some power and dynamism, but we don't know exactly when it is. And then the last one, nothing. Or maybe he was born a little bit later. We don't know. So there's things we don't know because his birth time isn't exact. So what's our conclusion? He's hot on the first debate. He's a winner. If he's doing an athletic performance, if he's doing a business deal, he's just on. He's got Mars conjunct Jupiter. Now one of the reasons why this graph is so fantastic is you can just look at the month and you could see what the best times are. Best time for him is right when that first debate was. So he's very, very strong. Now, we don't know how strong his opponent, Barack Obama, is in that debate, but we know that he's favored on the first date. So, if we look at what the results were, I've got that here too. I prepared some things for this presentation. Here are the debate dates, the 3rd, 16th, and 22nd, and these are the results from the Gallup poll. Gallup is a highly respected company that does polls, as probably you know, and this is the website that I got it from. Oh wait, I don't have this right here. Let me put my headers up here. This is supposed to be here. Obama, Romney. Okay, fix my file there. Save that. Okay, so Obama on the 3rd got 20% of the people that were polled said he won the debate, and Romney got 72%. 9% didn't decide. Romney killed Obama in that debate. I mean, just crushed him. 72 to 20%. Next debate changes pretty dramatically. Obama is picked as the winner by most people who were polled. And by the way, this polling these are professionals, so it's probably pretty good. So 51 versus 38%, and Obama does even better at the end. So you see some dramatic differences. Obama just did very poorly compared to Romney in the first one, and then turned it around the second one, and then even better in the third. So those are the results. So regardless of what your political persuasion is, I watched all 3 debates, and I have to agree with this. I mean, this really made sense. And I think if you watch them, most people would agree, and that was the results. So it worked. So if you were a consultant, an astrological consultant to either Mitt Romney or Barack Obama, you would say, gee, the 4th is great for Mitt, and you would want that if you were the consultant for Mitt, and you wouldn't like it so much if you were the consultant for Obama. So the amazing thing is, he picked it out. He picked out that here's Romney the winner, he's at his peak, he's at his highest, this one we're not sure of, he's got some other good dates where there weren't debates, but this was his big time for the month. Boom, it did it. So this is not unusual. This forecast tends to work, and it works very nicely because you can see things in perspective. You're seeing what are the best times during the month. If I want to see 2 months or 3 months perspective, you can run that. It does take a little time to run. I can go over here and say, give me 3 months. I don't even have to leave this screen. Right here I can pick my time period. Recalculate and display now. Yes, go ahead and do it. And it's not ultra fast. That's one drawback. You have to wait. It's going through all these complex calculations and weighing all these different things going on. But it's almost done. If I have to wait more than a few seconds, I think something is slow. And there it is. So I've got, that whole time period laid out for me, and I could, see what the high and low points are. So over here in, December is really peaking. Okay, now, and here are my details. So we've got that. And what was that peak date again? October 4th, actually. And there's the October 4th is here. It's this one. October 1st, this is 9th, this is the 4th. So there's that peak for the debate in a 3-month perspective. So, he's very strong throughout this whole time period. It's a good time from mid-November to early December is a good time for Mitt Romney and his business pursuits. And then really great here in December. So if you were consulting him, these would be strong times. And you can go over here. I'll exclude the ones with zero, so I can just pick these up quickly, and I can see exactly what is causing these the graph to go up or not to go up. So there it is in December. Transiting Jupiter, trine natal Venus. Transiting Mars, trine natal Jupiter. transiting Mars, sextile natal moon, all going on, combining together and causing the graph to go up. Now, if you're an astrologer, you may think to yourself, well, I don't need this graph. I know what all those things are. I can figure that out. Well, it's the 21st century, and that may be true, and you may have this kind of computer mind that can just look at things and assess them and weight them, but having it drawn out for you like this, and to have this information when I'm consulting someone and they're asking me about times to do business, I pull this up, I can see it, I go to the listing, I can see what's causing it, I can say, gee, your business in stuff in late December is great, I go over here, Jupiter trine Venus, it's a good time for promotion of high quality things, to make money, etc., but don't overspend, and so on. So you, Mars sextile Jupiter, wonderful for business, etc. So it pulls together all the relevant information, so you have it, and you have it graphed. And you can create your own formulas fairly easily, and or customize the existing formulas that we give you. Eventually, I would love it if different astrologers sent in formulas for different things, and we could list all those formulas, like business success according to astrologer, Sally Smith, business success according to, Bill Johnson, whoever, making up names, and we can do that, and you'll have that. So, but these formulas that come with Sirius, people are very impressed with. They really work. Now, I'll go back to this. I'm going to leave this screen, go back to the main screen. I'm back here. So we're in that little world of creating AstroSignatures. I'll go to Barack Obama, and let's do his forecast, AstroSignature main forecast for October 2012, and let's see what days are good for him. Oops, this went outside my screen area. Drag it in here. And we'll do business success. I think that looks right. I want business success for the month of October for Barack Obama. Looks good. Click on begin analysis. And here is his graph for the month of October. And I don't need to fiddle with the times. It's going to be about the 3rd, 4th on this graph. I can change it if I want to, but we can see that the first debate, he's got nothing going on. So Romney was super strong, and Obama has no help. Obama gets crushed in the first debate. October 16th, 17th, Obama's got nothing, but Romney probably has nothing also, because it's very unlikely that Mars-Uranus midpoint conjunct his midheaven actually happened then, because we don't know his birth time. So not so good for Obama here, but also not so good for Romney, probably. And then if we look at the 23rd, 24th, Obama's got stuff going on. It's coming in here, 23rd, 24th, something is going on. I can go over here and scroll down. Oops, this went off your screen, didn't it? Pull this into your window. I'll scroll down to the 23rd, 24th. Transiting Mars, trine natal Sun. That's great. He's got energy, which he didn't have in the first debate, for those of you who watched it. So he's energetic, he's on the ball. He looks like he had his Wheaties in the morning, as the American slang goes, which he didn't in the first debate. And if we look at the results, there we are, October 22nd. Obama's very strong in that last debate. The poll was done a few days after, and I'm not a great political follower or anything, but I do remember that week after the final debate, it seemed to just continue this enthusiasm for how well Obama did, and we see here that it remains strong, and then another peak. So the graph shows exactly what happened. So this is not unusual when you apply these graphs, because they show you like the ebb and flow of different areas of life and how things will peak and develop, and you can add progressions, you can add, solar arc directions and so on. And by seeing it in perspective like this, it's fantastic. So why do all this work manually when the software can pull together what's going on and you can see it in detail? Now let me show you this. What if we wanted to look at that debate in detail? Let's say the one where Obama had Mars trine, transiting Mars trine his natal sun. It was October 22nd in Boca Raton, Florida, from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Well, let me show you this. I'll show you one more thing, and we'll probably have used up our half hour. There's so much more I can show you with this. It's really cool. Maybe I'll make another video showing you how you customize it. You can do financial research with it. We have the classical stuff in here. We have stuff related to the Picatrix, an ancient book. So many things. But let me show you one more thing. I could do a one-day forecast. So I'll do 1 day. Do I want to recalculate now? No. But thanks for asking. And now you might not have noticed, but it added some additional questions. Do I want to include transiting moon? Do I want to include transiting house cusps? And there's a setting for here for how often to calculate. And I can select a place. And it's got Boca Raton, Florida. How would it know to do Boca Raton, Florida? I think I was playing with this yesterday and set it to Boca Raton, Florida. But usually it sets it to the birthplace. But I had changed it and now it's set to Boca Raton, Florida. That's because I was preparing for this lecture and I set it there. But I could click on place, and you can either set it for the birthplace just as a convenience, or you click on change place and a window comes up. It goes off your screen, but anyway, a window comes up and you enter the place. Now, it goes off this window I'm capturing here. Anyway, I'll hit cancel, and what am I doing here? I want to do 1 day. I want to do October 23rd, and I want to do it, well, what do we think? It was around the next day. I'll do it from 0 hours, and I'll do it for, I won't even do a whole day. I'll just do 6 hours, or 8 hours. Let me do 6 hours. Let's not recalculate yet. I want to think about this. So should I include house cusps? Maybe not. Because you end up with a lot of influences going. But let's get the moon. This way we can see what's going on with the moon, and we can see more exactly what's happening. So I'm going to click on apply and recalculate. By the way, frequency every 5 minutes. I don't need that much detail. It'll take longer to calculate. I'm just doing transiting moon. I'm just going to do every 30 minutes, or I'll do every 20 minutes. And it tells me here calculations. By the way, 18 very fast. So the more, if I set it to 5 minutes, it says 72 calculations, still fast. But obviously the more calculations do, the longer it takes. This is only 18, it'll be very fast. Apply and recalculate. And it's calculating, and now you don't have to think about GMT. It converts it to the local time in Boca Raton. So when you're doing a detail, you've got your time in Boca Raton. The debate was from 9 to 10:30, so 20 hours is 8 p.m. 21:20 is, so the debate started right in here. And we see it getting better and better as the night goes on. And a peak in here at, that would be 10:40, 22:40, 10:40, which is at the end of the debate. So right at the end of the debate, he's got a peak going on. But let's click over here on our details and see what was going on and it tells me the time of each thing. And so this peak here is at 22:40, which is this one, 22:40. In parentheses is the local time. Here's the GMT, so it's 22:40. At that time, transiting midheaven was opposite his natal Mars, giving a little more dynamism and energy. That was right past the debate time. Debate ended at 10:30. He might not have really picked up much of that. just a little pinch at the very end. But this is the Mars transiting Mars trine natal Sun, and now I know the exact orb was 24 minutes or so at the beginning at 9:30. Yeah, it's 23 minutes, 23, 24 minutes, and only became a minute stronger by the end of the debate, down to 22 minutes. So there we go, down to 21 minutes by 11 p.m. So you got the exact orb if you wanted it. But it was nice to see if there were any other things going on. There were no additional moon transits, for example. That would have been very interesting, but he didn't have like moon trine natal Mars or something, which would probably be in the AstroSignature for business success. And maybe that's what I'll do in a future video, is continue with this and show you how you customize. But it's wonderful because you go down to a day detail and put in the exact place. When you do this, it'll take into account whether there's daylight time, so it's giving you the actual clock time at that place. Even if daylight time changed in the middle of your forecast, it would adjust for that. It's very precise, and you can add in all the details that are going on. So it's really fantastic, and you have all these signatures built in. I use this all the time. It organizes the information for me. It can also make a fantastic thing to just give to a client. And in a future video, I can show you how you customize it, how you can use not only modern rules but ancient rules for detailed changes throughout the day, and so on. So it's another tool. You have all these tools. If you don't like this tool in Sirius, no problem. It's like the internet. If you don't like a website, you don't go to it. We look at Sirius as being this huge resource of different tools for different kinds of astrology. Probably very few users of the software use more than 5% of the program in terms of all that's there. And that's the way it should be, because all those things are there if you ever want to use them. So one of the philosophies behind Sirius is give you a complete resource, elegantly organized, with lots of flexibility to explore and work in different ways. And it's ongoing. You know, we continue to program like crazy because astrology goes on forever, and there are improvements that can be made in any part of the program. But we've taken this to extraordinary levels. We're in the 21st century with cutting-edge tools. Okay, so there you go. I think that's enough for one video. I'm at almost 33 minutes, which is about the maximum length I like to do for one video. And there's so many videos I want to make, but I'll try to make one in the not-too-distant future that tells you more about what you can do with AstroSignatures. Maybe it'll be my next one. I haven't decided. We'll see. Okay. And if there is a video you'd like us to make, just let us know. Okay, thank you so much for watching and listening. I'm happy to share this all with you. Take care. God bless. Namaste.